How's it going, guys? This is something that I've wanted in my possession for quite some time. Usually the reason I didn't get it was because it was really hard to find, started going out of print, or just like so ridiculously expensive that I just didn't want to drop the money on it. It's like something that I want in my physical media collection, but because of the price, I usually didn't do it. I found a pretty good, decent deal on it, and so I figured, why not? Let's pull the trigger. Let's finally do it. And so I got this delivered today, and this is, of course, the Friday the 13th Scream Factory Complete Deluxe Edition Blu-ray set. And this thing is wild, man. Now, the reason also why this is kind of coveted is because the Friday the 13th series has been owned by different distributors throughout time. There was Paramount, and then it switched over to New Line, and I think there was a third one in there somewhere also, I'm not sure, but it's just really hard to find all the movies because they're owned by different studios, so they're released, like you can get an 8-pack of the first 8 movies, but then you can't get the New Line movies. And then there's Freddy versus Jason, which is that a Jason movie or is that a Freddy movie? Which franchise does it fit in? It's just really, really difficult to get all of the movies in one place, but Scream Factory worked out a deal and they created this incredible set that just the artwork on this is awesome. I'll show you guys a close-up of that and all the Blu-rays. But it's here, man. This is the set, and it has every single Friday the 13th movie that has been released thus far. Now, Friday the 13th, granted, is not my favorite horror franchise of all time. It's not, I don't like it as much as Halloween, I don't like it as much as a couple of the others, but it is, of course, a classic series that I watched a shit ton of when I was younger, and just kind of holds a special place in horror. Like, everybody knows Jason Voorhees. Even if you've never watched a Friday the 13th movie, you recognize the hockey mask, you recognize the iconic look, the guy with the machete. As someone, I don't have a machete near me. I have this. This is not like a real machete, but it's close enough. This is the closest thing I got close to me right now. But I usually keep machetes around the house because, you know, sometimes I like to put on a hockey mask and, you know, walk around my house and just pretend I'm Jason and stalk imaginary victims. Or maybe not imaginary. I don't really know. But, you know, sometimes I black out. But besides that, we're here. Let's open this up and unbox this, man. Now, according to the paper on here, this includes new 4K scans of the original Friday the 13th, Part 2, and Part 3, and Part 4, including a new transfer of the 3D version of Part 3, 2K scans of the interpositive of Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, new audio commentaries, new interviews with Sean Cunningham, as the creator, and a bunch of other people here, new location feature, new 60-page booklet with an essay by writer Michael Gingold, audio commentaries with the cast, Friday the 13th Chronicles, whatever that is, secrets galore behind the gore, documentary Slice and Dice, the slasher film Forever, documentary Scream Queens, horror heroines exposed. Well, that sounds interesting. Theatrical trailers, yada yada, still galleries, and all the regular stuff that you would see from like a Blu-ray DVD set. All right, so let's look at this thing. All right, so right off the bat, I got to show you guys the artwork here. This is the back of the box with, of course, the Friday the 13th logo, and all this artwork is actually, of course, scenes and moments from the movies, which I think is really cool. You have the unmasked Jason from, I think, Part 7, and then you have him rising from the grave from Part 6. This is Part 3. You know, might take a little bit of time to figure out all the rest, but that is on there. Looks really, really cool. Why don't you get you guys a good look at it, just so, you know, if you're curious about picking it up yourself, you can see pretty much everything that you're going to see right here in the video. Freddy vs. Jason, you can see like the damage to his mask. I think this is the remake right there, Jason Goes to Hell, which I always love the design of Jason Goes to Hell, even though it's, well, it's an experience. And then on the side here, you get Part 2 Jason, and a little severed mom head there, and then a little thing down there from Part 1. So it looks like there's at least one piece of artwork from every single movie. On top, you just have a nice image of the hockey mask there, pretty iconic. You could even lay that on your shelf like that. That would look pretty cool. And then the bottom doesn't have anything. It's just a little bit of info on the movies, the ratings, and whatnot. So that is the case. Really, really cool. Really awesome. Probably the best reason to get it, besides the movies themselves, so you can display this. All right, so let's look at the movies here. we'll go, I'll show you from this side actually. That's all of them locked in there, every single movie, along with even Freddy vs. Jason, the remake, all in there, all in order. So let's go with the first one here, if I can get it out. All right, so we got the first one, Friday the 13th, the original kind of cover, put here in Blu-ray. Looks pretty dope. There on the back, that's what we get. If I open it up, we actually get two versions. There is a theatrical version and the uncut version. So I don't know if I've ever actually seen the uncut version. So that's kind of interesting there. And then there's also artwork on the back behind the discs, which is really, really cool there too. Really nice aesthetic there. There's something about the simplicity of the first Friday the 13th I really love. You know, it's before Jason came into it. It was sort of like a mystery, very low budget movie. You know, I appreciate that kind of stuff. All right, so we got part 2 there. Looks like they're using all the original covers, which is nice. This is the first one where Jason actually becomes the killer. I love the whole shrine that he makes to his mother's severed head, which you actually see here on the inside. So there's this one there, and then what is behind the disc there? Just kind of the logo. Pretty dope though, nonetheless. So we got part 2. All right, and then we move on to part 3 in 3D, man. I've never really been a huge fan of 3D movies. However, if you go to the IMAX theater and you see an IMAX 3D movie, it's a different experience. I might give a little bit more credit to it. How cool would it be to see Friday the 13th Part 3 in IMAX? So, yep, there's the inside there. There's the disc. See that eyeball popping at you in full 3D effect. So there's that. All right, so that's part 3. We got part 4, the final chapter. Little Corey Feldman bashing in the head of Jason, man. You know, maybe that's where it should have ended. I don't know. Or maybe they should have just brought Corey Feldman back in multiple movies. They should have made him the lead. He should have been the Laurie Strode of the Friday the 13th franchise. I know the character comes back a couple times, but where's Corey Feldman, man? Bring him back. You know what they should do? You know how they rebooted Halloween in 2018 and just ignored all the other movies? They should reboot it with Corey Feldman and just ignore all the other movies. Friday the 13th Part 5. This is the worst one. They did their best to make a really cool cover. I appreciate that, but I hate this movie with a passion. And oh, sorry, it's upside down. I hate this movie with a passion, and words cannot express how much this movie annoys me. But you know, that's for another time. We'll rant another time. So there's that on there. There's a chick with like really nice big titties in this movie though, so it kind of makes up for it. Then Friday the 13th Part 6. This is my favorite Friday the 13th movie. This is the quintessential one. This is where Jason comes back as a zombie, and it's just got everything you want in a Friday the 13th movie. It's got the camp setting. It's got Jason doing ridiculous kills. It's got zombie Jason. It's got Tommy Jarvis, the character. It's really like everything you want there. So there's the back. There's the disc. Oh, man. Like, if I'm just going to put on a Friday the 13th movie and I just want the feeling of Friday the 13th and I just want to see Jason kill some shit, like, this is the one I'm going to put on. This is the one that I'm going to choose probably before all of the rest. Depending on my mood. All right, so then we got Friday the 13th Part 7. I like what they did with this one. They try to come up with an interesting concept of this girl with psychic powers kind of fighting against Jason. She's basically Carrie. But I like the idea because by Part 7, I mean, you need to give Jason somebody like formidable. You need to make it so that he can, you know, have a little bit of a challenge. And so I like the background there. If anyone recognizes, this is the background they used for the old school Super Nintendo game. If anybody remembers that. Jason's like green or something. I don't remember what they did with that one. Jason Takes Manhattan, Part 8. This is definitely one of the worst ones or one of the best ones, depending on how you want to look at it, because it's really stupid. Like, really stupid, and he's barely ever actually in Manhattan, but, you know, there he is. You guys can check that out under the thing there. Yeah, there just happens to be a giant like hockey mask billboard behind him. Does anybody even wear hockey masks anymore? I don't know. I've never seen them in real life other than in reference to Jason. All right, so Jason Goes to Hell. Probably the most controversial Friday the 13th movie, and for good reason. And you know what really annoys me is this shot is super cool of Jason with the demons behind him, but this scene is not in the movie. Unless this is like some unrated version that they put it back in.
they cut this out, but this is always in the promo images, but it's not actually in the movie. And if you watched my Evil Dead video, you saw how badly I tried to make the canon of this movie work, assuming it's related to Evil Dead. It's not, but the director kind of subtly connected it to Evil Dead in the movie, and you know, I tried my best to make that work for you guys, but it didn't work. All right, then we got Jason X. Once again, one of the best or one of the worst, depending on how you want to look at it. Jason goes into space. We are no longer in any territory of trying to make good movies. This is just literally, what the fuck do we do with Jason? I don't know. Let's put him in space and have him fight an android chick. Let's. I don't even know, man. They changed his look. They made it, you know, more spacey. I don't understand what's going on in this movie. And then this is super exciting to get. Freddy versus Jason. I'm so glad they included this in this set. I know with Freddy and Jason, you know, both in the movie, it's like which franchise do you actually count it in? It's both, but like if you're gonna release a set, to be able to have this is pretty fantastic. I love this movie to death. I know it has its haters, but I think it delivers on everything you want. I think it has great Freddy moments, great Jason moments. There's actually like a prolonged fight. They fight multiple times. It doesn't just tease you. Like, it actually gives you what you want, or I feel like what I wanted. It actually, it says Freddy versus Jason, and it gives you Freddy fighting fucking Jason, and that's the movie. So like, I appreciate this for what it is, and I remember seeing this in the theater, and I was like 14 years old, and I was so stoked to be able to go to the theater to see it. My dad took me, and just good memories, man. And then, of course, ending it out with the Friday the 13th remake from 2009, which is really a remake of like the first 3 movies, but I like this movie, man. I like this movie. It's not great. It's not the best in the franchise, but like, I think it's fun. I think they make Jason pretty intimidating, and I'm kind of upset they didn't continue with this. It could have been a good new run of the films, but they never continued it, so that's there. And then finally, the last disc is a bonus special features disc. So this has the new interviews and a bunch of documentaries and stuff like that, so that'll be really cool to check out. There's the discs there, and I think under the discs we just have that image of the very original Friday the 13th, which is very different from where we go with Jason Goes to Hell and Freddy versus Jason and all that. Just a very simplistic movie about a killer with a knife. So this is the booklet that it comes with. This is the cover that's also on top of the case there. And it looks like, to me, just flipping through it, it pretty much takes you through like the incarnation of Friday the 13th and gives you a little bit of insight into each movie kind of in order. So it kind of goes through all the films, gives you a bunch of info, and has, you know, images and stills from all the movies and stuff like that. Okay, so there you go, guys. That is the complete set of the Friday the 13th Scream Factory Blu-ray collection. I was holding off buying this because, like I said, I usually found it like way too overpriced. I just didn't want to dish it out, but this was a good deal that I found. It was a little bit cheaper than it normally is, and it's in great condition. I don't think anything is missing. So that's just kind of a look at what you would get. So if you were thinking about buying this, now you know everything that comes with it, you know what it entails, and you know the look of everything of what you're going to get. So I'm really excited about this. I think all the Blu-rays I'm going to put on my media shelf, but I think this, the actual case itself, I'm going to display on top or somewhere around there because it just looks too cool to not showcase, you know what I mean? But anyways, guys, there it is. So let me know what you guys think about this. Also, if you're thinking that this means that a Friday the 13th retrospective horror series is going to come very soon on my channel, well, maybe not soon, but now I at least have no excuse. So tell me what you guys think about this down below. Leave your thoughts, comments, just opinions on it. Let me know if you have the set as well, or if you were thinking about getting it. Does this make you want to get it more or less, or do you not care? I don't know. Put it all down below in the comments. Also, please like the video to help share it in the algorithm. Go ahead and check out the links below in the description for my channel memberships, Patreon, merch store, all that fun junk to help support the channel. And other than that, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll talk to you next time.